A couple of weeks ago, Congress was talking about passing a new bill of a 32-hour work week, essentially shortening the 5-day work week into a 4-day work week, giving us a 3-day weekend. Now, I saw a video of Clear Value Tax, one of my favorite YouTubers out there, a very knowledgeable guy talking about this, and I wanted to make a quick response because he had a couple of questions and concerns that I wanted to give my input on. This isn't something that's new, but has recently been brought up again. And I wanted to go ahead and play you this quick little video.
The question that we are asking today is a pretty simple question. Do we continue the trend that technology only benefits the people on top, or do we demand that these transformational changes benefit working people? And one of the benefits must be a lower work week, 32-hour work week. This is not a radical idea. France, the 7th largest economy in the world, has a 35-hour work week, and it's considering a 32-hour work week. Norway and Denmark is their work week is about 37 hours, and Belgium has already adopted a 4-day work week. And what we're going to hear today is there are companies all over our country and all over the world that have adopted the 40-hour work week. And you know what they found? They found that productivity actually went up, because workers were able to focus on their work. They were not exhausted. They were happy to go to work. So the issue that we are talking about today is of enormous importance. Who benefits from the exploding technology? The wealthiest people who are doing phenomenally well, or working people who are falling behind?
There's a couple of things that he mentioned, and I want to touch base on, and that was talking about productivity, right? I want to touch base on 5 pros of this, because what does this mean exactly, proposing a 4-day work week opposed to a 5 for the working Americans, giving them a 3-day weekend with no loss in pay? I want to stress that. So that's with no loss in pay. One of the things that I want to talk about is improved work-life balance. A shorter work week can provide more time for personal leisures and activity, being able to spend time with your family or doing things that you love to do. Gaining an extra day, that's 16 hours that you're essentially awake during that day. And again, if you're at work 8 hours of the day, 9 hours of the day, another hour for drive. I mean, for some of us, that's an extra 10 plus hours. What can you do with an extra 10 plus hours in that single day? An extra 10 hours a week, that can be starting a business. That can be just having fun with our family. That can be just relaxing. I mean, so we're not exhausted, right? It's overall going to increase a work-life balance, making people happier. Now, the second thing that I want to touch base on is overall increased productivity, which Bernie Sanders kind of touched on that a little bit. With a shorter work week, you're not exhausted. You're going to be rested. You're going to be excited to go to work because now you don't have to drag on the Friday. You know what I mean? Like having a Thursday be your Friday, like that's exciting. So you're going to want to go to work, excited to work. You're not going to be tired. You're not going to be maxed out, drained. You're going to be more motivated, focused, have energy during a more efficient work week. So overall, it's going to increase productivity. I see that happening. I can see it happening. The third thing I want to touch base on is health benefits. What does that do for your health? If you're not stressed, if you're not tired all the time, if you're not burnt out physically and mentally, what does that mean for your overall health? That just means better health. I mean, the most important thing we can do as human beings, besides eating right, is having good quality sleep. So if you're able to have more rest because you're not stressed, that's literally going to increase your health. You're going to have health benefits for that. You're not going to have heart diseases. You're not going to have certain things that are what's taking us out as Americans. You know what I mean? Like stress is the number one killer. How factual is that? I'm not sure, but I mean, Google it. Like stress, from what I've heard recently, is the number one killer. Having low stress, I cannot stress enough. Having low stress is so important. With the shorter work week, lowering our stress is not only going to improve our life, but it's going to improve the lives of those around us, because we're not going to be cranky. We're not going to be so frustrated and angry all the time. I mean, it just means for a better environment in your home, in the workplace, all around, everywhere you go. You know what I mean? There's not going to be road rage because people are just going to be chilling. You know what I mean? Like on a Friday, people are just going to be relaxed. Overall, it's going to increase health benefits. Fourth thing I want to touch base on is the job creations. What this can potentially do to be able to create more job opportunities by spreading available work amount among a larger pool of workers, which will result in lower unemployment rates and increasing the workflow. Now, there's a downside to this. Who's going to pay for it? We'll talk about that a little bit in the cons here in about a minute. But for the most part, it can create jobs because if somebody is not going to be there one day of the week, we're going to need somebody else to pick up that shift, therefore creating more job opportunities in certain industries. Last thing that I want to touch base on for the pros is environmental benefits. With less people driving throughout the week, it can lower carbon emissions and help with overall energy consumptions. Having less people on the road during the week is going to help our environment. Yes, there's still going to be people driving, they might go do stuff, but you're not driving 30, 40 minutes to a work job each way. So it's going to have some type of benefit for our environment. Now, jumping into the cons, there's 3 of them that I really want to touch base on, and that's the impact of income. For many industries who work commission, I don't think this is going to be great. I mean, how do you work around that? If you're in a job where you're going to be commission based, then you have to be there in order to outsource to gain leads to sell whatever product it is that you're selling. Commission jobs, I don't think it's going to be is something that'll work. I just don't see it working unless you're outbound sales. But even then, like, you have to be making phone calls in order to gain leads to make money. Not only that, but the cost for employers. Shortening a work week can increase labor cost for certain industries, especially where the labor is already significantly a larger expense, like small businesses. Small businesses make this economy run. The United States was built on small businesses. They're already struggling with higher cost of goods. They're already struggling keeping afloat. I see all the time when I go on Facebook, people saying, hey, look, it's been a good 20, 30 years, but we're closing our business down. Unfortunately, we just can't make it because the cost of everything's rising so fast and high lately that it's shutting small businesses down. And if you're increasing that expense for cost of employers, then it's just going to really exponentially increase that rate of when small businesses close. If you have somebody working 4 days out of the 5 with the same pay, they're going to have to get somebody else on and pay more. At the end of the day, they're going to be paying more. So it's very hard for small businesses. I don't see it working for them. Operational challenges for some industries, it may be a little bit difficult to be able to adjust all around. Some companies don't have that room to where, over a long period of time, I can see it working out. But for some industries, they might find it a big struggle to adopt this 32-hour work week. So I'm super curious. Comment down below what industry you work in. And I'm super curious to know if it benefits you or if it'll be detrimental to you. So do me a favor, comment down below. Just comment down, I'm in the car sales industry. It's not going to work. I'm in the retail industry. It's going to work. Just comment, I'm in the food industry. It's not going to work because you work on tips. So comment down below. Most of these cons are seemingly towards business owners and companies, right? For the majority of Americans, we're happy for a 32-hour work week. That's a given. I would love a 32-hour work week. But the cons are for business owners and companies. Remember, it's the small businesses that make our economy so great, or what was great. So with that said, one of Clear Value Tax's main concerns was, what do we do with people who need to be present at a shift, like a police officer, a teacher, security guard, firefighter, those type of jobs that can't be performed for less than what they currently work, which makes sense, right? Like, teachers cannot not show up on a Friday, and if they adopt a 32-hour work week, our school system's either going to suffer, because then that means kids have to be at school for 4 days a week. For parents who are already struggling to afford to pay for food for their kids, unfortunately, now they have to feed their kids an extra day, because that lunch money, that lunch that they get at school that extra day, it helps. I remember growing up sometimes, and it would help us. So that can be detrimental as well. Again, there's little negatives to it. Like I said, although students would probably love that, the result would be lower school standards and lower education systems, which I believe Clear Value Tax touched on that a little bit, which, by the way, I'm going to link his video down below. Again, one of my favorite YouTubers, very straightforward, very knowledgeable, spot on what he says. He's not clickbaitish. He's just his videos are great. If you haven't checked his channel out, check it out. One of my favorites. Security guards, jumping right back into it. Security guards, they need to be at a place that needs security. What happens with the big corporation that has to pay more in employee costs because now they're adopting a 32-hour work week, and they're essentially losing money at the end of the day? What happens with big corporations? There's something that you got to understand. When their cost increases, they're going to find a way to cut their cost and their expenses. That's just the way that it works, right? I mean, they're big corporations. They're in it for the money. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the people. You can see our food industry. I mean, it's horrendous, the crap that they're putting inside our food. But that just goes to show they're gonna decrease their expenses, and one thing that they're gonna do is hire technology, robots. I went on Amazon the other day and I saw a big ad with a $1,500 robot that rows and does security, and if this senses something, it'll scan you with the AI and it'll alert you. Like, that's new technology. In a couple of years, if a business adopts that, there's not going to be any more security guards or things of that nature. They're going to replace it with robots or technology, and it can be good now, but in a couple of years it can be something that's not good. So what do you do in these scenarios for people who aren't in an office setting? And that's a great question, which we kind of touched on a little bit. For these industries, like I said, it's going to increase your labor costs for employers, because now they have to hire extra people to fill in those spots if the work week got shortened without a loss of pay. So I'm super curious to know your thoughts on this, and if you think this will be great or detrimental. Go ahead and comment down below the industry that you're in, and if you think it'll be good for you or not, and why. I'm super curious to know your thoughts. If you're new and this is your first time on this channel, we talk about ways to improve your credit score, financial literacy, budgeting, and many different topics to help you improve your current credit financial habits, all done within about 5 minutes or less typically. If you found this video helpful, please do me a solid favor by subscribing, liking the video, hit the bell notification, and share it with somebody who you may think may be able to benefit from it. Believe it or not, it helps a ton for a small creator like myself. I know you hear that on every video, but if there's any type of incentive or information that I can provide to help you in your everyday life, that's all I ask for. I will never sell you a course. And this is just me speaking based off of my experience to you in hopes that it can help. Go check out my other videos talking about credit and finances. Comment down below something that you're currently struggling with. And again, I'll make another video just for you. Thanks again. And until next time, love you guys all. Peace.